Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole. Hello and welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, everybody. I am your host, Nicole Lano, and we are here with a solo episode today. This one goes out to all of the seekers, all of my spiritual friends who are listening to this. I know that we have a lot of those people in the audience, and this episode is a special message just for you. So I identify as a seeker. Let's talk about what that means. That's somebody who is interested in the spiritual side of things, has always maybe felt called to doing inner work. And usually I find a lot of seekers are people who had to overcome some sort of hardship in their life or a feeling like they are closed off or not able to step into their full potential. So they're seeking something bigger, but they're also seeking themselves in the process. So if you identify as a seeker, if you identify as somebody who's a spiritual CEO, a spiritual business person, you're looking to build a heart-centered business, whether it be that you teach something spiritual or transformational, or you just want to lead from that place, then this is for you. So a lot of people who are seekers right now, because of the coaching world, the online space, all of these opportunities in the entrepreneurial world that have opened up, seekers are now saying, I think I can make money with my gifts because they're seeing other people do it, which is amazing. And it absolutely can happen. And they are looking to tools like human design to give them a clue into how can they sell it. Because what happens is for a lot of people who fall into this category, they go out, they try to sell their stuff and it's not working. They feel like they're talking all the time. They feel like they are showing up consistently and it's not working, meaning they are posting 3 or 4 times a week. They are putting things out there. Maybe they've started a podcast, but nobody's listening to it. They have an email list, but they're not really engaged. They're just not getting the traction or they're not seeing the conversions from it. Or some of them are doing the cha-cha with their visibility, with their action that they're taking. They are taking a few steps forward and then they have to go retreat. They have to go hide. There are aspects of your human design that could absolutely make you do that. Emotional authorities will probably have to tap out more than people who are sacral or splenic or some of the other authorities. Now, it is not a hindrance. You just learn to work with that. But what happens is a lot of these people, a lot of these seekers, these spiritual entrepreneurs go out and they're like, I'm putting it out there, but it isn't working. And I'm going to give a little bit of insight into why that's happening with all the people that I've worked with. We actually just ran a big masterclass and I met with a lot of people and had a lot of people in that workshop. And this is a reflection on some of the things that I'm seeing and some of the things that I'm hearing from the people that I am coming into contact with right now. This is also very much aligned with some of the business activations that I teach in human design. So I'm going to give you a little color into my human design and why I'm delivering this message, just to give you an example of how human design and business really weave together. It is a very holistic, organic sort of process that when you know your design, you can start to spot it in people and you're like, oh, now I know what to say. Now I know when my intuition kicks in to say something, I know why I'm saying it. I know who I'm saying it to. Now I know how to say it. Now I feel really empowered to say the thing or to do the thing. So I'm going to talk about a message for the spiritual seekers striving for success, striving for the sales, striving for that freedom-based business that they know is possible, but maybe haven't really wrapped their arms around yet. I'm going to give you that. And I'm going to give you a little example of how I'm using my design to craft this message right now on this podcast and how it all came to me and how I see it through my chart. Now, human design and messaging can often seem like a linear path. Even in this workshop that we just did, the Authority Accelerator Masterclass, I laid out the authority matrix, which are the main activations that I go through, but I go through every one of them. I always look at the entire chart because the chart is what tells the story. But that's very difficult for me to do in a masterclass with 200 people on it to say, here's how we look at a chart. In order to do that, I'd have to be training readers. I'd have to be training you in human design to read a chart. That would take a very long time. Very difficult to do in a masterclass. It's very difficult to even do in a program. Even all the certifications I took, I needed to go back and do other certifications and other continuing education in order to learn to read the chart the way I read it now. So in order to transfer all of my knowledge for people to be able to translate the chart into what I see, that's a tall order. So the authority matrix are 8 key activations that you can start with, that you can start to dive into and start to see what comes up for you. So a lot of people are like, okay, tell me what those gates are. And we've talked about this on the show. I talked about it as one of the key mistakes I see people make with human design and business. And it is something that normally takes people out of what's going to give them what they're looking for. Really, it is when you start to look at your chart and you look at those activations and you understand what they are, then the next step is learning the lessons of what those activations are. What are the lessons of your particular chart? What are the frequency bands of your activations? What's the shadow of it? What's the gift of it? When you start to understand what your chart means, when you start to understand the themes that are woven through the chart, then you start to understand how you help, what your lessons are, and you have to learn those lessons in order to be able to translate them and transfer them to other people. We don't want to transfer our problems to them. We want to transfer our gifts. We want to be able to teach people something that gets them out of trouble, not into trouble. So learning the lessons from your chart is a huge part of this. But the key message that I have for my spiritual seekers, my seeker CEOs, is that action is required. It's time for you to get off the sidelines. Now, this isn't just something that I've observed. This is actually a key in my chart. This is part of my magnetic messaging. Now, you're listening to this and being like, that's me. But what does it look like to sit on the sidelines? It looks like to maybe spend a lot of time learning about things, but not actually putting them into practice. It might look like hiding and not really putting yourself out there, energetically holding back from putting yourself out there. Now, you might say, I have to do the inner work to figure out why I'm energetically holding back. I would argue you need to do both. I would argue that you need to take action and you need to do the inner work. This is a tandem process, or what happens to the spiritual seekers, those seeker CEOs, is they go into hiding and they do inner work for 2 years and they don't make any money. And then they come out of the inner work in desperate energy, like, I need to make it now because I just spent all of this money and now I don't know how to make money. And now I need to go figure all of this out again. And now they're in not attractive energy, almost throwing out all of the inner work that they've done. And this cycle of desperation and then retreating inside themselves causes them to repeat that cycle. It's just this constant thing. Instead, learn to walk and chew gum at the same time. A lot of the people that come into my world, at their heart, they're like, I just want to serve and I just want this to be easy and I just want this to flow and I want to be able to take care of myself, but I want it to be super, super easy and I want people to just come to me. And there's a structure that needs to support that actually happening. You need to be putting yourself out there, but not just putting yourself out there, checking the box, like I showed up today, which is better than not doing anything, better than hiding. However, you need to go all in on your energy. You need to go all in on the action that you're taking. That's what creates ease and flow. Energy all in means you don't have to be there all the time because the moments that you show up are far more potent. You actually hit the mark when you show up rather than continually missing it by saying the same wrong thing over and over and over again. You don't have the structures to support it. Take aligned action with all of your energy behind it. And that's where human design can help you guide the action that you're taking. Human design can help you go all in on the actions that you are taking, on the message that you have, on the people that you're here to help, rather than when something doesn't go your way, you start to retreat again. I speak this because this was one of my hardest lessons. Going inward, always feeling like there was something in me to fix, even when I didn't feel like I was doing that from a horribly disempowered place. But if I look at the evidence, I was not showing up. There was a time where I would go all in and then I would be like, no, now that's too much. There are lots of aspects of my design that caused me to do that. I had to learn the lessons of all of them so that I could teach them to you. Your lessons might be different, but this is one that is universal to most of the people that I talk to. And the reason is I attract this very type of person. It is in my chart. And the message is that it does get to be easy. However, action is required, devotion of your energy, commitment of your energy, going all in for the experience, detaching from that outcome is necessary in order for you to have the success, the fulfillment, in order for you really to get to that point of being spiritually and materially supported and to be manifesting all of the abundance that you want in both of those areas. You might feel like you have it spiritually, but you don't materially. Well, in order to have material success, you do need to take action in the material world. And there is a structure, there is strategy. It isn't all feminine energy that's required. It isn't all spiritual. Even if you're selling something spiritual, you need to know how to sell the thing that's spiritual. You need to know how to come at that from a place of where you're going and not where you are, which feels very disempowered right now. You have to know that even if you haven't made all of these sales, that you can still sit in your worth, that you can help people, that you can help them spiritually, that you can help them transform. Don't let your own results cloud the results that you can get for other people. And speaking a message that is actually structured to sell, where it's on your message and not on you all the time. Energetically, you have to show up. Your message just needs to have certain key factors, certain key perspective shifts, certain key elements that take you from the friend zone with your ideal client to the take my money zone, to the people where they're like, I really think I need to work with you. I really think you can help me. And that's where we need to go because most seekers are sitting in the friend zone. And that is both energetic and strategic. So in my chart, this is a key part of my message. Taking seekers, taking those spiritual people and letting them know that in order to manifest, action needs to be taken in the real world. That there is no shame in material success. That you manifest through the body, you manifest through physical action. You don't manifest purely from the spiritual place. And that's a hard lesson that a lot of spiritual people need to learn. A lot of transformational coaches, a lot of people who are like me. I'm a type A hippie. The hippie in me is like, can I just sit on a pillow all day, meditate, and visualize the future that I want and have it come to me? No, you have to do your part because you want to manifest material success. Money is material. Money is in the physical world, the world that we can touch, right? So you've got to go do something in the world that we can touch. You can't be all in the ethereal. I have a head center, conscious sun and conscious earth. I can live in my head a lot. I can live in possibility. It's important to live in possibility. However, I need to bring it down into the real. I have to bring it down into action here. And there's certain ways that I do it. And human design has helped me to understand that there's a reason that this message exists in me. It gives me the power to say this, even if it might piss some people off, even if it might offend some people, even if it might drive some people away. I go all in on this because there are some people that will hear it and say, she's speaking to my heart. She's speaking to my problem. And if she's speaking to my problem, maybe she's the one who can solve it. And that is how you sell things rather than just sit there and sound inspiring to people. And people go, I really love your show. It's so inspiring. They never buy anything from you. You can't eat that. You can't eat the admiration. You can't pay your bills with nice words, unfortunately. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could? So if you're sitting there and you're frustrated by the fact that you feel like you've done a lot of work and you're energetically in a wonderful place, but materially you're not, then material action is probably where something needs to shift. Either you need to do different actions, or they need to come from a different place, or you need to actually do them because you are hiding in your spiritual inner work. But you can do these things together. They don't need to be done separately. They don't need to be, I do the inner work and then I stop doing that and I'm going to do the structured work. It doesn't work like that. Now, I'm not going to say that you're doing 50-50 all the time, but I have a spiritual practice for readying my energy, for expanding my nervous system, for regulating my nervous system. This is a life practice. This is something I do on the daily. And sometimes I need to go deeper because I'm dealing with something, but I go into it and then now what am I doing in the real world to make sure that this is actually turning into something positive in my physical life? So these are the differences. Now, this is actually what I teach inside my mentorship, not a digital course. It is not even a group program. It's a mentorship. Like I said, I don't want to train readers. That's not what I do. It's not at this time. Some people talk to me about it. It has not been a yes for me yet to do a certification. But what I do is I do one-on-one sessions and readings with people to fast track that translation part. So you understand the workings of your chart, and then we integrate and we do the structured strategic work with group coaching calls and workshops and digital course content. But the idea is I don't want people who are just looking to sit down and learn and watch a bunch of digital videos and not take any action. The idea is that my mentorship is focused on embodiment and implementation. I want you embodying your design, not necessarily reading about it all the time or watching videos about it. We have those, you can do that, but that's not where the core of the information is coming from for you, because figuring out how it all works together is a tall order. So we fast track that by doing that one-on-one. And then we get you into the integration and implementation portion. And now you're embodying and we're deepening your connection and we're getting the message together. And then we are building a podcast for you so that you have something that is putting your magic out in the world in a way that gets people to buy what you sell. If you're interested in that at all, DM me the word mentorship on Instagram. I'm at Nicole Leno Official. DM me that word and I will send you the details on the mentorship. Or you could go to nicoleleno.com/enroll and you can see what we have for you there. Thank you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this sheds some light on how this process works together. And if you are a spiritual seeker, I hope that this lit a fire under you. It's loving tough love. I'm 5'1". I do call people out, but it's always with love because I know that you can do it. So many people that come into my world, they don't believe that they can really do it. That's why they hold back on the action, either energetically or physically. They're not taking it. And once they do, their life changes. And I want that for every single person who's in this situation, whether you work with me or not. Thank you very much. I hope that this moved you to action. I hope this moved you to some realization that pushes you in the direction that's correct for you. I hope that you take a look at the mentorship because I'm so proud of the offer that we've created here. It is truly the most impactful thing that I could make. I was like, how can I take everything that I do with private clients and make it more affordable? And I think that we have achieved that. And I'm very proud of what we created. So again, DM me the word mentorship on IG or go to nicoleleno.com/enroll and learn all the details there. So thank you for making it all the way to the end with us. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, in order to have an unshakable business, you must first become an unshakable human. So go out there and become unshakable, everyone. We will see you next time.
If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to nicoleleno.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.